it onto the page. So that's why I have everything inside the group itself, because it makes my life a lot easier. So I already made a copy of that before I grouped it in. Oops. Get back. So I'm going to grab these two objects over here, group them together, and make them so they are horizontal again. Transformation page 24, so 0? Is that correct? Okay, since you already rotated in one way, they were rotated negative 24 degrees, you needed to go positive 24 degrees, and that gives you the horizontal that you're needing and looking for. Okay, so we'll do my logo real quick first. Go back to the original. You can see how it's almost pretty much coming up into that number plate background. So, but it's centered with it. So, obviously this one right here is way too big. I don't like my logo being overpowering over the whole graphic. I just kind of like it more of a subtle look, pretty much. So I don't want it to be huge on every single freaking graphic because I just think that looks gaudy and horrible. So, as you can see, that's not centered, so you need to work it so we're at center. And this is actually, it might be smaller, or it might just be because of this isn't down as far as the other one. So that's an easy fix. We can just go into the object manager, click on that, which automatically highlights it there, and bring it down so it's just down further on the in the actual template. And the only thing I'm doing is using my arrow keys. Like I said, not everything's gonna be perfectly the same as what it is over here, and don't concern yourself. Okay, so let's place the 4, just so I can see, into the center. I'm sure there's an easier way than using, there's probably isn't a line button somewhere. Okay, placing it into the center of this. Let me get this line out of here first so you can see. That, even though it's exact center, to this does not look center, because then you got the 4 over here, like the bottom corner of the 4 touching the black, but then there's a big white space over here. So as you can see, this looks center, but tactically, according to, and I'll just show you just for presentation sakes, this is center. This is that far off center, but it looks center. Grab it. It looks center and more centered in the picture than what it does actually looking if it was actual centered. So like I said, it's just pretty much you have to go off of what the eye agrees with. That looks center, more center than the other one, because there's more of like even spacing in between everything because it's oddly shaped number. So that's what I go off of. So we go back over here to our name. We can use reference to see what I did. Okay, Ian Burns, the Ian's in black, and the B, red, and just coming down into the number plate a little bit. So it's already grouped together. I mean, this is a little bit bigger because that goes a little bit across center. And I just need to resize this. Like I said, if you want to keep checking back for reference, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect or whatever it is to compare to where the perfect placement as far as mine. It just needs to look good. So you can see that the name, number, and my logo. Okay, you can, what I do right now is I'll take all of these 3 things and which are over here in my menu, and I'm going to grab them all and then group them together. So grab them all, Control G, right click, power clip inside. What? Right click, power clip inside. And there you go. Alright, so that is all one piece now. Everything is free to move on its own. So I know I didn't put I don't know why I didn't put a note on there for the quad tech. The axis is not 90 degrees, it's close to 90 degrees. What it is parallel with this line. Okay, the quad tech is, I think it's like around 60 degrees or something, but it's pretty much parallel, or if it's not parallel, it's split the difference between these 2 lines, because these 2 lines are 2 different angles, so it's kind of like split the difference, if not parallel. It needs to look, everything needs to be like parallel with each other, and that's what people kind of look for in graphics, is like straight lines and stuff. And it's all about, I'll just do one side for you so that way you can see. I'll do the quad tech one. So once again, make a copy, Control C, Control V. Bring it down to where you're going to work with resize. It doesn't have to be the same exact sizing as what I use or whatever, just something that looks good, like I said. So we'll go over to here to transformation, and let's try negative 60 degrees, which was too much. So Control Z, and click Control Z, negative 45 degrees. That is a good in between. And it's an easy number to remember, because I'll show you why. So, I mean, it's not parallel with this, and it's not parallel with this, but this is 2 different angles, so, and it kind of splits the difference. So, take it, power clip inside, click on the blue, and that gives you your power clip. So, you need to make this side over here match exactly the same angle as this side. So we can go over here to your transformation. Bring it back up. And go back over to your mirror properties. And it's already clicked for that mirror. And it's already clicked for one copy. And press apply. And now you need to bring it over here. And when you mirror something, it also mirrors it exactly in the place of wherever that first object was in your object manager, the same place. So right above it, or sorry, right below it is the original one. And then when you mirrored it, it didn't go to the top because you're just mirroring it, like reflecting it. So it just went right above where the original one is in your object manager. So let's bring that to the top. Get back, get back, get back, get back. I don't know what I did. What did I do? Okay, I'll try this again. And shift and page up. My laptop, I just hold the shift button right here and the page up to bring it to the very top of the page. Control page up, once again, just goes by each individual object. It just goes up one, and shift page up goes to the very top of the page. Same thing on down, shift page down goes to the very bottom page. Control page down goes down each object. So now you have that on top. Because it's mirrored, you can find your piece that was underneath, wherever it was, and just go ahead and delete it. Because you already placed it where you need to place it, and you already placed your copy where you needed to place it, and you don't need it anymore because it's just an extra copy in there. So at this point in time, we're going to go over here to your menu, and you're going to click on the group of 56 objects, which is also known as your QuadTech logo. Okay, you need to go back to your transformation, and you need to click mirror, but you do not, you can have a copy as for reference if you want. I'll do it both ways. I'll do one copy first, and then I'll do 0, because you know you just did this and you flipped it 45 degrees. So, mirror, and you want to reflect it the same way as you just reflected it. And that gives you that. Go back to your object manager. That is on top, obviously, because you just mirrored it. And I'll just showing you this so you can see what's going on. And you flipped it negative 45 degrees initially to get to this point, that point over here. So, in order for you to do it symmetrically on the other side, you need to flip it 90 degrees. Because flipping it 90 degrees gives you what you need. Because once you do it, if you just flip it 45 degrees, the only thing that gives you is straight, which is back to your very original one that you brought in, which is okay, but then you have to press it again and apply. So it's either doing it twice, or you just type in 90 degrees and do it once. Sometimes I will keep, don't forget you have the other QuadTech one below it. I keep the one below it, the original one. Yeah. This one, I just moved it up in the layer. I keep that below it, so that way if I need to reference what degree I flipped it, if I can't remember, I just keep that copy in there to reference what I need the angle to flip it to. So let's go back a bunch of times. And now we're back to just this object, which is just the QuadTech object. If you already know what it is, you don't have to make a copy of it. So we're just back to how we flipped it over and brought it over and deleted the other one that you already, this piece that you don't need. So go back over here. This is the second way of doing it without making the copy. Group of 56 objects, which is the QuadTech logo, transformation, mirror, that, make sure you change your copy to 0, apply. And that gives you that. And now you can go to rotate 90 degrees. And there you go. Okay, I think this concludes this, and hopefully I can upload this to YouTube and give you a link and see how this goes. So, I know this is a long tutorial, but I hope this is in-depth for you enough, and I got my own tutorial of Corel today.